So tomatoes, lime, Persian cucumber, hand-picked lemon from a tree, 1 chive, jicama, red bell pepper, avocado, 3 jalapenos. And they all go right into the bowl. No, just start cutting. The smaller they are, the better. I make them into 4s, so it could be cube shaped or triangle shaped, or pizza pie shaped. Okay, we'll just stop here. Deal with Persian cucumber, with potato, little pepper, and all that, salt, tomato, dot, and avocado, and avocado, and so the bowl I'm using is way too small. So I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade it to a much bigger bowl. And I'll save this. I'll use this, and I'll save the other half for another dish. This will give it a beautiful color and that crunch. So when you chew it or bite into it, you have a delicious, gratifying crunch. Be very careful with this. It is very dense, and cutting it is super easy, but initially cutting it is not easy at all, because it could flex or bend the knife, and the knife might slip, and if it does slip, it might cut a finger, possibly. And this is what it looks like so far. For the limes, the way I do the limes is I use a fork, push it in, and squeeze. Squeeze it around, and then tilt it back and forth, 90 degrees, tilt it back and forth, and if you want pulp, pulp. And always remember to make sure you take the pits out of the back end. Always, always, always take out the pits so they don't fall into your food. Take thin skin limes. Limes with a thin skin. Not the thick ones that are hollow and heavy, or hollow and not heavy. pick the ones that are thin, because those are the juiciest ones, and those are really, really ripe. That's right. And before the jicama changes into a different color, I'm gonna go ahead and mix it. The jicama will oxidize, so like a banana, it'll turn brownish if air hits it like an avocado. So within the tomato juice, within the lime juice, so give it a quick mix. Top to bottom, bottom to top, and tilt. To this, I'm gonna add a tiny bit of seasoning. I'm gonna add some black pepper, fine ground black pepper. Just a dash of the McCormick and maybe 1/10 of a teaspoon of black pepper, or less. Then tiny bit of garlic salt. Another 1/10 of a teaspoon of garlic salt, maybe even less. And a quick mix right before I add the last batch of limes. And that's it. So now you just mix everything nice and well together. But your ratio of a lime juice, I put a little bit more than necessary. I should have put just 2 limes or maybe 1 lime, 1 lemon. But since the ratio is a little bit too much, as you can see, that delicious lime juice is there. It may need to have some additional salt added. Or you can even have maybe about 5 or 10 tablespoons of that lime juice. You can put it on some steak or some chicken. And then let this sit for roughly about maybe 3 to 4 minutes in the fridge, right before you mix it up one more time. And you could use actual salt if it's too sour. Since I used a little bit too much lime juice, I'm going to use a little bit of salt. Tiniest bit of salt. And mix that up, and then let it sit. Let it sit for a good solid 3 to 4 minutes before you eat it, just so the flavor gets infused into the flesh, into its flesh, as opposed to being on a surface layer, which then the lime juice will wash away, because all the juice, all the spices are all washed away in that lime juice. So letting it sit, mixing it, letting it sit, mix it, that'll be wise. That's it. Bon appetit.